if you were in a relationship and now it's over, and now you might be like, now what do I do? I got to tell you, you are in the right place today. So count your lucky stars because today we're going to talk about why the relationship ended. Is it really that bad that it did? Now, what do you do? And have your moment, but don't stay there. How to stay gone from unhealthy relationships and to take care of you. Okay. So most people, are generally sad when the relationship ends. Most people, that is, not everyone. Some people are actually happy about it, aren't they? And they're like, yes, finally. And almost like a weight is lifted off of them because they have their freedom back, because possibly the relationship was so controlling, demanding, jealous. And a lot of times, if that's the case, it's because the person that they were maybe dating was pretty much toxic. And you have those that wanted the relationship to end. And then when it does, then they're actually sad about it. When before they're like, oh gosh, you know what, hoping and kind of praying and that person will break up with them. And then when that person does, then they're actually sad. And the reason why is because the relationship was actually more of a habit then, because then they're like, gosh, wow, what am I supposed to do? Okay. And then they just kind of wander around because they don't know what to do because the relationship is no longer there. And they may not have even liked the person that they were dating. But now that it ended, sorrow kicks in, sadness kicks in, and then they're like, now what? And others who break up, there's those that have already moved on, right? The minute that relationship breaks up, bam, they are already in the next relationship. No matter where you fall in maybe this breakup scenario that you have been in, that you might be in, okay, this might be even something, a show that you need to go back to after the fact of maybe the relationship ends, okay? Because you might be in a great relationship right now. So you're thinking, well, I don't even need this show, Shawna. But maybe your friend does, okay? So if you watch this or share it with a friend, even subscribe right now for your friend, okay? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to subscribe for yourself, but you can subscribe for a friend. All right. We're going to dive in, dig a little deeper why the relationship ended. So, you know what? Hey, that's a really good question, isn't it? So maybe within the chat here, within responses, you can give me a reason. Okay. Even if you had been in a relationship, why your relationship ended. Because again, I really truly do want to know. This isn't just for me to be talking. It's because I'm here to even help you. Okay. If you're a teenager, I'm here to help you. All right. Count me in for that. Why? So again, why did the relationship end? So I'm going to go ahead and give you maybe a few little thoughts, right? Maybe you don't even know. Maybe because you were so even just wrapped up that you were so blindsided that, oh my gosh, like you really did not see it coming. So you are just like really, truly, oh my gosh, that is a great question. Why? Why? Why did it have to end? And you're still crying your eyeballs out. Take some little thoughts, take some deep breaths, because maybe the relationship ended because it was a little too cray. Okay. That you need to maybe pull back. Things are getting way too out of hand. And the person just could not handle that anymore. Maybe it ended because, again, just being jealous, maybe being the controlling, demanding, just way too possessive. Because when people kind of feel like that, they get almost like, oh my gosh, they can't move, they can't breathe, they can't like do anything. That, okay, is not a healthy relationship. All right. And if your relationship is that right now, then hey, if it ends, really, you should not be that sad about it. Okay. So the relationship, yes, I would like to know from you, why did it end? Maybe because that person, you know what, just didn't want to be in a relationship anymore, that they just kind of want to take a break, take a breather, get to know themselves again, and even just, spend some time with family, spend some time with their friends, and just spend some time with themselves. That's not necessarily a bad thing, okay? And maybe the relationship ended because that person was not truly ready for a relationship. Because really, is it that bad if the person is so immature, really is not ready for a relationship, and maybe you were? Seriously, is it that bad that the person ended it or you ended it, that's probably a good thing, isn't it? That we're like, man, thank God that person's out of my life now. Okay. Which, sometimes those are good things that that person is out of your life. Um, Also, when I'm thinking about it, is it that bad? Okay. Because sometimes even you need to find yourself again. Okay. And is it that bad? It should not be. And here's the thing too, really, it really should never be like that bad. Because you always hear that little saying, right? That if you let it go and if it's meant to be, it'll come back. However the saying goes. I don't even remember, but I'm sure you've pulled it up or you even know what I'm talking about. Don't make it worse than really that it needs to be. Yes, you may have really cared about that person. Yes, hey, maybe you even really loved that person, because I'm not saying teenagers are incapable of love, okay? But sometimes they get into relationships that they really should not be in. And if that relationship ended and you broke up, they broke up with you, however it ended, really just kind of think about that and think back to really all the relationship, okay? Not just the good times of the relationship, okay? Because that's what so many people tend to do when it's over, and then they just dwell and dwell and dwell upon the so-called good moments. Because having a breakup and now you're thinking, gosh, well, what am I supposed to do now, Shawna? My gosh, you have no idea. What am I supposed to do? I've just spent all this time with this person, and now, like, that has become my life, and now I don't know what to do. Well, hey, you know what? It's time to find out who you are again. Okay. That's a good thing. So that goes back to the, is it that bad? Probably not, because you do need to find out who you are. Find out what your strengths are, because you probably know your weaknesses already, and it could have been that person. And now you need to find out what your character is again, what things you stand for, who you want to be, okay? Because you're not going to be a teenager for the rest of your life. Hopefully, okay, mentally, anyways. There's some people that are just like, goodness sakes, grow up already, okay? And they're like 60. So hopefully that won't be you. Have fun. Yes, live life. Definitely laugh, have a good time, all right? Even in your 60s. But when you're in a relationship and then it breaks up and then you don't know what to do and then you're struggling because you really have broken pretty much all ties, whether it be with your family, with friends, just your neighbors, whoever it might be, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, that you stopped going to family functions because you were just so busy spending every waking second with that person. And now you have to kind of get a life back, don't you? That does not revolve around that person. So, yeah, what do? You might have to think about that. You might need to write some things down like, wow, think back to what you used to do. Okay. And I'm talking about the good things. All right. Because maybe partied quite a bit and now you were with that person, you didn't maybe party as much. Or because you were with that person, you started to party. So is it really that bad that the relationship ended? Probably not. Is it really that bad then that you don't do that stuff anymore? Probably not. Okay. Because when okay, the drinking age is 21, all right? And I know a lot of you might be drinking already, but the age is 21, isn't it? So doesn't mean that just because you're a teenager that that's what you should be doing. Also, okay, what do you do now? Maybe get back to some things. Like I said, think about what you did before. Go back to the good things, okay, that you did before, the positive things that you did before, because you had a life before this person. Believe it or not, it might be to some people like where you gotta, what? I did? Like, I might be saying something to you that you're forgetting. It's all coming back to you like, oh my gosh, I did actually live before this person. And guess what? You can live again. All right. You still have a life to live, whether it's with that person or not. But don't be so focused and honed in on just that one person and you can't live and you can't function anymore because, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're still gonna live and you make that choice. You decide. Now, what am I gonna do? Pick yourself up, okay? That part when I'm saying have your moment, just don't stay there. Right. Cry your eyeballs out. Do whatever you got to do. Cry. Listen to sad music. Listen to what your favorite song was. Look at photos that you had before. Go back to some photos that you saved and, just reminisce and have that. Except have your moment. And then, okay, put that moment behind you. Don't stay in that moment. Okay. I'm not trying to be insensitive to be like, okay, you had 10 minutes. Now get on and move on with it. All right. I'm saying, seriously, have your moment. Cry for a couple days. However, I'm not talking months here. Okay. I'm talking a couple days here. Look at your photos, look at your pictures, look at your good times, think about all those things that you had, because sometimes those so-called good times were really few and far between. But when we break up and we really didn't want it to end, we gravitate to the things that were just the little tiny good times. And even though they may not have treated you all that well, but then you start pulling and searching for those little tiny few and good times. And you're like, oh, but they were so good and they were so cute. And then they did this and then they said these nice things to me. And okay, you're going to have someone else that will say nice things to you. All right. And you can say nice things to you. So don't just waller in self-pity for months and months and months. Okay. If you have younger siblings, especially, start pouring into them. Okay. Start doing things with them. Go outside and be with them. Go back on the trampoline like maybe you used to do that before. Show them how to draw. Maybe they're learning some things, and get kind of plugged into some of their world. All right. Get plugged in, and maybe you've missed out on some family functions. Go visit your grandma. All right. Go see your great grandma. Go see a great uncle, aunt, maybe someone that was like a favorite aunt that used to maybe see, and a favorite uncle that, used to kind of show you some things. Start getting plugged back into your family life. All right. Because that will definitely help you. And yeah, when they come back around, like, oh, hey, where's this person? You might burst into tears. You might say something. If you say something even to your family, you can tell them, can you please have them not ask me about that person, because I'm just not ready to talk about it yet. And your parents can do that for you. Okay. Because generally your parents are on your side. All right. For of course who you're dating and who you're not dating and breaking up. And if you didn't break up, your parents are generally with you and on your side. Okay. So if the breakup was a really hard one, yeah, I mean, that's a struggle, isn't it? It definitely is a struggle. And sometimes in the midst of that breakup, some of the struggle is because if you were the possessive one, you were the obsessive one, you were the one that is struggling so much because you seriously were just blindsided and never thought this was going to end. It was just like, oh my gosh, so perfect. And now it did. Now you're really struggling because now you're like, wow, okay, I really don't know what I'm supposed to do. But just what I said, you go and start doing different things, plugging into doing things, okay, with your family. If you don't have a sibling, plug into a niece. Well, you might have nieces and nephews, but I'm more so thinking, I guess, plug into a cousin. All right. Even your neighbors. Sometimes you have little people that live next to you that really look up to you. When you start plugging into their life too and doing things with them, I got to tell you, they're going to remember that for the rest of their life. And that is an awesome thing that you would do for someone else, okay? Because when you get the focus off of you and how mad I am, how sad I am, and why did this have to end, that's going to help you move on. It's going to help you move forward, okay? Not just stay where you're at and in this depression. You don't want to stay depressed for 3-6 months, all right? And maybe you dated 3 weeks. Sometimes you get so torn up about it, and this is especially for a girl, and that's usually is because she's given herself to the guy. She has given who she is. She's had sex with him. She gave it up to him. Maybe she was a virgin, and now she gave it all, and now she's really crushed because she then gave it up because she was in love with him. And now that has ended, it's over, and now she's crushed. And the guy has moved on, and he's totally just like, no big deal. Maybe he's dating a friend now. Okay. Which is that really your friend? I'm gonna tell you right now. No, no, it's not. Okay. Don't stay friends with her. Okay. That's just a little side note there. And that could even be a vice versa situation. It's not just girls that will do that same thing. Okay. But girls generally will get crushed more. Girls will generally, their self-esteem, bam, goes away compared to what the guy does. When they break up, if the guy, hey, has been just completely all in love with her, and then she just breaks up with him and then is already dating someone else, yeah, he can get crushed too. And sometimes people forget that guys can have feelings. And guys do have feelings. Sometimes girls forget that and they just, oh, no big deal. And then they're on to the next guy. And the guy is just, I mean, seriously, just so heartbroken, so crushed. And that changes guys. I've known guys that has really, really changed because girls didn't care. They're just, playing with his emotions, messing with his feelings, and gets him to like her, and then says this, "Well, I don't like you like that." What? So we were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and now you don't like me like that anymore? Okay. And then the guy is crushed, and then you know what? It has changed him, like, forever. He's not the same sweet, caring, gentle guy that he used to be because now he's like, "What?" His guard's up and his guard's on, man, because he's like, "There's no girl is gonna treat me like that again, and no girl's gonna do that to me again." So then he puts a guard up. So when he has that relationship broke up, he piled on the concrete, and now there is no getting through that heart. And he now is so distant, he's not going to be so-called in his mind weak anymore, which that is not a weakness, guys, for you to be nice, sweet, and caring. All right, it isn't. That's actually good. But here's the thing, you want to have the right girl to appreciate that and really admire that and want that, because sometimes we have these girls that want to date the guy that's not so nice, the guy that does treat her like dirt and like crap, and those are the guys she stays with. And because, like, well, you're just too nice. Well, hey, he should be. You should like that. But sad to say, a lot of girls in high school don't like that. And hey, there's a lot of girls in their 20s and 30s that don't like that end up in relationship after relationship and are treated like crap in a doormat, and they wonder why. So in past little shows here, okay, and even in this show, it's because of the things like what you do, the baggage that you have, the way you've allowed people to treat you, and now you have that on you and you have not let it go. You haven't released it. You haven't healed your heart. So when you get into relationship after relationship, and then you're breaking up, you put this baggage upon yourself. And that's why it can be really hard to be in a healthy relationship because you are not healthy. So you want to make sure that you get healthy, okay? And that's when I just was saying, like about the unhealthy relationships. This is like, how do you stay away from an unhealthy relationship? That is one of that's actually the main thing right there, is that if you've broken up, instead of looking for another relationship like right away, you get yourself healthy. You mend your heart first, okay? And even though you might think, well, it's not that bad, Shawna, okay? And if this guy really likes me, and if I get into this relationship, it's going to help. Well, this girl, man, she's hot. What are you talking about? That's going to help me heal. Okay, I will be healed. So, woo! So, I'm all right with getting in that relationship. But are you though? And what are you getting in the relationship for? Okay. Because if you just broke up, guys, you still need to heal your heart too. If she broke your heart, crushed you, you need to heal from all of that damage that took place. All right. So that when you do get into the next relationship, and even when you, okay, get married, because most of you want to be married, and that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, okay? But you want to marry the right person. But in order to marry the right person, you have to date the right person. So when you're breaking up, sometimes, like I said, is it really a bad thing? Is it? Because truly, maybe there just needs to be some maturity growing up in there. And then, you know what? Hey, maybe you'll get back together. And I'm talking not in like 3 days, okay? I'm talking in like 6 years, maybe. I don't know. Okay. But definitely give it some time. And don't be the person that is then that person broke up with you and now you're like begging them back. Oh my gosh, please, please don't, I want to get back together with you. And then you're calling their friends, texting their friends, meeting up with their friends because you want to know what's going on, and that you become like a freaky, psycho, crazy person in the breakup. And then, and then you're wondering why they broke up with you. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe that right there is why, because you just are just so like, oh my gosh, gotta know what happened. What's going on? Sometimes you have to give that person some room. Okay. Like, okay, let me give them a moment and then maybe we can talk about some things and maybe you can get back together. Maybe. All right. But really think about, is it a good thing to get back together? Is this breakup really that bad? If I stop and think about it, put all my emotions, off of crazy, think about it, step back and kind of gather my own thoughts and senses, maybe we should stay broken up. Maybe we do need some time away and we just see how that goes. Maybe the breakup is actually a good thing. All right. So make it a good thing. Okay. Have your moment, do your stuff, put it behind you. Okay. If the relationship was unhealthy and you needed to say bye bye and they said bye to you, you need to be cheering. Woohoo, doing some cartwheels, whatever. Okay. Learn to do a backflip because that is a good thing. So you need to not be sad about that because unhealthy is just that, unhealthy. Okay. And you need to then get healthy so that you don't get back into the same unhealthy relationship, because here's what tends to happen in unhealthy. That breaks up, you get into the next unhealthy, and then usually it kind of even gets even more unhealthy because you are unhealthy. You don't know how to choose healthy. So instead of, then maybe they called you names, they made fun of you, they degraded you, and they did it not only like to you, but around people to where you were really like embarrassed. That is unhealthy. So many times when you are in an unhealthy relationship, you accept it. It becomes okay with you. And a lot of times it's because sex has entered into your relationship. So then you think, okay, well, I don't want to let go of them. I don't want to lose them, because that's what sex outside of marriage does to you. And then you hold on to that, and then you don't let that relationship go. And now you're almost like so committed, but hey, you're not married. So stop acting like it. And it's okay to let that person go. It's actually a way better thing for you and them to let that relationship go and you just keep walking, because it may not end and you may end up marrying that person. And then you're definitely going to be unhappy. So if you're unhappy now, getting married does not make you happy. Unhealthy, marrying unhealthy makes it even more unhealthy. All right. You have to get out of that relationship. Then you heal yourself. You get yourself healthy. Okay. Mentally. All right. And maybe physically as well, so that you can be in a good, healthy relationship. All right. Because you do not deserve to be treated like crap and like a doormat and just to be a punching bag, whether it's physically or mentally or emotionally. You do not deserve that. If that is a relationship and they broke up with you, woohoo, yippee skippy. And if that is the relationship and you are that person, you need to be breaking up with the person, because if you are the unhealthy one and you're creating unhealthy, then you need to break up, okay? You do, so that you can get yourself healthy. You get yourself healed. All right. You need to heal your heart, because what has happened to you. You might even need some counseling. That's okay. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes you do need that, to go talk to someone and then listen to them. Okay. Whether it's your parents and they're trying to help you and guide you and give you some direction, then hey, guess what? You need to listen to them. Listen to what they're saying to you and the advice that they're trying to give you, because most parents love their teenagers, believe it or not. I know it's hey, here's a little side note for the parent. I know it can be hard. I know it can be, but hey, you can do this. The love is there. It's always there, definitely. But sometimes it's hard to love the actions of the teenagers. hmm But I got to tell you, but I do. I love you guys. Love you all. Definitely, you're all near and dear to my heart. And that is really why I'm doing this Talking to Teens show, is because there's a lot of stuff that I am here to help you with. So some of these things we've just talked about, okay, that why the relationship ended. Is it really that bad? Now what are you going to do? Have your moment, but don't stay there. Okay. How to stay gone from the unhealthy relationship, and now the take care of you. That is how you take care of you, and that's by healing your heart. All right. That's first and foremost, because without a healed heart, it's hard to be in a healthy relationship. Then you become depressed easily. You jump into relationships just because someone likes you. You stay in an unhealthy relationship because you don't know how to be strong for yourself. So when you take care of you, not to the point of selfishness, okay? Please do not become a selfish person, all right? Because that's not what I'm talking about. Please do not take care of you like that. And don't do you got to do you. Don't do that kind of stuff, because that's really selfish. All right. But you do need to take care of you. You take care of your emotions. You guard your heart. You protect yourself. If the person you already can tell is unhealthy, then why are you with them? Okay. Why? Please answer that question. All right. Because I'd love to know. And I'm sure other people would love to know too. And if they're telling you things, why are you with him? Oh my gosh, what's going on with you? Seriously, why? But I love him. Really? Why? What do you love about him? But I love her. Really? What do you love about her? Because she is a real, there's my beep. So if you have guys telling you that, guys, maybe you should listen to them because it could be true. And the same thing, girls, if you have your friends telling you, and even the vice versa, because, guys can tell their girlfriends, like, what is up with that? Why do you put up with him doing that? Do you want me to beat him up for you now? Because you know what? I can and I will. Maybe you need to let them. Okay. Not really. Okay, not really. But there might be some guys that have asked you that. And I know you said no, which is good, okay? But that doesn't mean you need to stay dating the guy that treats you like dirt. And the same thing, guys, when you have your girlfriend saying to you, what the heck is wrong with you? You are a nice guy. Why are you letting her treat you like that? You should probably listen to your friends. And sometimes people just don't break up because they just feel bad and guilty about it. Well, I got to tell you, don't. If that's a situation, don't. And it's okay for you not to be in a relationship. That's part of the taking care of yourself. Okay. Sometimes you do need to break up. Sometimes you need to heal in your heart. And then sometimes you just need to not be in a relationship so you can just breathe a little bit. Take care of you. Okay. There's some pretty high maintenance people out there, definitely. And when you are not then in that relationship anymore, and now you're taking care of you, you're taking care of you're maintaining yourself now. And sometimes people, they can barely maintain themselves, that they definitely do not need to be maintaining another person on top of that. So they need to heal, fix themselves, mature up a little bit, even. And now, maybe later in their life, much later for some people, much, much, much later, than be in a relationship. And if you have not been in a relationship and you're still watching this and checking out the show, don't be sad about that. Okay. Don't even be thinking. And actually, I'm going to make a show about that. But this is just a little tidbit about that. Hey, if you're like, well, I've never even had, a relationship to break up with, and you're kind of feeling sad about it, don't. Do not feel sad about that. All right. Because that is not a thing to be sad about. That's actually a good thing. You're saving yourself some heartache. All right. Because most relationships in high school, junior high, do not last until marriage. And then some of those should not have lasted until marriage. So do not be sad if you have never been in a relationship and you don't even know what I'm talking about. You don't know that feeling. That's a good thing. Do take care of you. Okay. Take some breathers. It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. All right. If you've just broken up and you were just watching this, it truly, truly is going to be okay. You're going to get through this. It's going to be all right. And you're going to be all right. Okay. You are going to be all right. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. Some of you need to really hear that over and over and over again as you're laying in your bed and you feel like your life is over and has ended. And now you don't know what you're supposed to do. First of all, yes, your life is not over. So don't even let your mind go there, because it is not, because you lived before this person and you can continue to live. All right. So life is still with you. Okay. So you need to be happy about that, and maybe just jump on your bed a little bit. If your bed is bouncy, just jump on your bed, because that's kind of fun. All right. Just don't hit the ceiling. Don't hit the ceiling fan. Do something that's just fun. Just fun, silly. Go out there, even go buy some silly string. Okay. Just do something silly like that, whatever, because that's just kind of fun. Maybe do that outside though, because, silly string kind of sticks to stuff and then it doesn't come off sometimes. And it's like, okay, we don't want to make your parents mad. But do something, okay? Get yourself out of your room and out of your bed and out of your depression, because you don't have to stay there. Remember, you do not have to stay there. Definitely talk to somebody. Hopefully, it can be your parents that you can talk to, and then they can listen to you, all right? Not just tell you what you need to do, but to listen to you. Find someone that you can talk to. But here's the thing too, don't keep talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, because then people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear that anymore. That's about enough. That it's just all about you. Remember, go back to that. Have your moment, end it. All right. And now plug into other things. Okay. So if you have broken up, please let me know. All right. Why it ended. If you want to share that, you don't have to. Okay. You can message me privately. Okay. And what are you going to do? Because there are things to do, aren't there? And then I would like for you to tell me, what are you going to do? Okay. Not the, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Not that kind of what am I going to do? But hey, what are you going to do? You can go buy some silly string. You can start drawing. Maybe some of you who are very musically inclined, write some music. Hey, maybe you're going to be a musician someday, and maybe that'll be something you will start to do. Most country music, right, is off of sad breakups. You might just be a country star. So there you go. And plug back into your family. Okay, because that's going to be huge. That's going to be probably a number one thing. And even if you don't have siblings, you don't have a lot of family, plug into a neighbor, plug into a little kid at school, someone, even serve at a homeless shelter, find something to do, but maybe even get off your phone. Okay. Put the phone down for a few hours even and detach yourself from the social media and what is being said about the breakup, because that does not have to be your life. It's not going to stay your life either. And be okay with you. Be okay with knowing who you are. Be okay with finding out who you are again. Okay. Because if the relationship has been your identity and now it's gone, now you need to find your identity. And that is a good thing, because you need to know who you are. Again, because you're not staying a teenager for the rest of your life. Maybe finding some new interests. If you've just been plugged into what interests that person that you just broke up with, that your life revolved around that person, and now you need to see, what kind of things do you like? All of that stuff is okay. Those are good things. Definitely. So I'm so happy that you were here today. I'm so happy that you were watching this and listening to this. So all that is good stuff. I'll definitely be seeing you again in our next Talkin' to Teens show.